Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Country Club Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Leo McMahon. Today, our guest is Henrik Jentsch from Nuremberg, Germany, originally. But from what I've just gathered, he's been around the world quite a bit, and we're going to hear his story today. Welcome, Henrik.
Thanks. Yeah, like I said, my name is Henrik Jentsch. I was a quite good tennis player. I was 500 in the world when I was like 19, 20. And I went down to Germany, and that's about 45, more than 45 years ago. And I played for some of the tennis teams in this country. And then I went skiing and I broke my ligament. And afterwards, I couldn't play the same tennis. So I said, let's pick up golf because that kind of looks like an easy game. So I picked up golf, and after 3 years, I was a +2 handicap. And then I decided to play professional golf, and I did that for 3 years. But I just made enough money to live from it, but to survive from it, I didn't make enough to live from it. And then I got the first child, so I need to make money because I couldn't make enough money to pay for the house and insurance and everything at home. I could pay enough for just playing, but I couldn't pay for supporting a family, so I started to teach.
So you must be a very good athlete if you can go from tennis to golf at the levels that you were at.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It doesn't matter what kind of sport you give me, I can play it. And if you're standing outside and look, you must say he's a good player. In this doesn't matter what he throw a ball or play tennis or like a racquetball or something like that. It looks like the game when I play them.
Right. Very good. So in 3 years, you became a +2 handicap. How did you
Yeah.
do that?
I had some golf. Let's put it up this way. Like when I was a child, we had a big park. It's a park of the king in Copenhagen because I'm original from Denmark, and we had some old clubs and we were hitting those up in that park. So I had a little bit of back knowledge, but it was like when we were like 11, 12 years old, we were just knocking those balls in this park. There was not a golf course.
Okay.
So when I then picked up golf I hit golf for ball for 1 week, and then in Germany we have it's called Platzreife. So you have to make a certain score, and you need to know about the rules. And I hit golf for ball for 1 week, and I then shot a 17 over par. So my best score after 1 week was 17 over par. So the interesting thing about that afterwards, then I said to myself, I was just using irons, like hit an iron up and hit next up to the green. And because of my tennis experience, my short game was quite good. I chipped it on the green, make one or two putts and all this. So that was quite nice. So and after that experience, I says, oh, I'm gonna pick the driver now, and I'm gonna hit the driver in the next tournament, and then I'm gonna be 8 over par. So I hit the driver for that tournament, and that was the only time in my life I shot over 100. I shot 102. And then I said to myself, listen, leave this big beast in the car and hit your irons. And when you get to about 18 handicap, then put it in your bag and you can play tournament with a driver. So I was just hitting irons in tournament rounds and not hitting any driver. I practiced it, but I didn't use it before I was 18
Right.
handicap.
Interesting. So you were an 18 handicap. How long did it take you to get to become an 18 handicap?
That took about 8 months, 9 months.
Very good. Very
And
good.
then and then it went fast from there. And then the next point is that I played tournaments every weekend, because at that time you could only improve your handicap in tournaments. So I played every tournament every week, 2 times a week if there was tournaments and all this. So like I practiced every day at home. I was hitting balls like plastic balls into a net in my apartment and watching TV at the same time. So it was full speed for those 3 years.
So you got the golf bug right away. You liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. Now I was a tennis player before, and golf is the best game in the world because that's the only game where we can play together. Doesn't matter what kind of level you are. We can have a nice day. We can tell some dirty jokes and all this, and afterward have some drinks, have some to eat, and we had a nice day. If you do that with tennis, the guy that plays great, he's just playing the ball back to the guy that can't play that good, so it's boring for him. And golf is not
Right.
boring. It doesn't matter what kind of handicap you have or what kind of level you play.
Now, what carried over from tennis to golf?
I would say the touch, yeah. I mean the touch and the mental game, like be able to know how to concentrate and doing pre-shot routines and all this, because that's what you do at tennis also. When you hit a serve or you make a return, you have a pre-shot routine, how to manage the game. We have it's the same in tennis. You have to have a course strategy, like in golf. Like, if I do this, then I do this and this. Tennis players are not just hitting the ball over the net. They already know, if this happened, then I'm going to do that and that. It's the same in golf.
Right. Now, how does tennis improve your touch?
I mean, if you be able to, that's why golf is so much easier as tennis, because in golf you just have to have a good grip, a good stand. And on my LinkedIn account, I'm doing grip and stand. Yesterday was grip, today is stand. The next thing's going to come tomorrow. It's going to be the first part of the swing. So I'm going to go through the whole golf swing every day for the next few days. And in golf, you just hit the ball the hardest you can. And in tennis, you can. So you have to sometimes hit it soft, sometimes with top spin,
Okay.
sometimes you have a slice, and you have to have a lot of different strokes. I mean, in golf, you almost only have one. I mean, you definitely, yeah, you have four different swings in golf. You have a iron swing, you have a driver swing, you have wedge swing, and you have the putting stroke. But in tennis, you have slice, topspin, overhit, serve, slice. There's so many aspects of the game in tennis that makes it so difficult, and you really have to practice tennis a lot. In golf, if you get a certain level, you can kind of almost like keep playing the same all the time. To play well, definitely you need to practice a lot. Doesn't matter what game you're playing.
Right. So, how about the way you hold a tennis racket and the way you hold a club? Like a topspin shot in tennis, and if you want to hit a draw in golf.
Yeah, I mean the point is, I'm my teaching and my philosophy in golf is like Mike Adams, the concept of the different core regions, like Dr. Wright, is you have a lower core, middle core, and upper core, and depends what kind of player you are, what kind of person you are, body wise, and where you have your strength, you have different grips. So you can have the left hand very strong, or you can have it very weak. So that means if it's a weak grip, you are kind of upper core player. If you have a very strong grip, you're probably a low core player. And then you can have the right hand, you can have it in top on, side on, or under, and that also goes into your core type. And if you don't measure a person you teach, you cannot teach them. And most of the people never measure the people, like how long are the arms, how much can they turn, how high can they jump. So there's a lot of measurements you have to do to be able to know what the person is and then teach him a proper way. So the grip is it's a very unified grip for everybody. It's not the same. It's totally different for each person.
So, explain the upper core, middle core, and lower core.
So upper core player is more like, if we put it up this way, we say we have like a older guy, quite strong, not that flexible. He most of the time will play with the upper part, like with the chest, and he would not have too much turn in his hip because it's not possible for him to do that. So that means he's more like a a rear, a front post. That means he turns on his front leg, and he's using two of the three power region in the golf swing. You have turn, shift, and jump. That's the three parts. And an upper core player use turn and jump. So that, and it's like a Bryson DeChambeau. He's an upper core player, because a lot of people says you cannot hit the ball a long way as an upper core player. Oh, I think Bryson hits the ball quite far, and he's like, he turns on his front leg, and so he turns the body. Then there's a little bit of shift where he puts the weight onto the left foot, and then just like half a millisecond before he hits the ball, he turns and jump, and that's where he gets the power from uh, ground reaction forces. The third law of Newton, the ground reaction forces. This is where he gets the power. Then you have players like Adam Scott. They're using all power sources. So the power sources are uh, shift, turn, and jump. So if you see people that really have a nice swing, most of the time they are like middle court players. So they're kind of turning on the center of the body. Like if there was a post in between the leg, they kind of turns on this position. And so they're shifting a little bit, then they're turning, then they're shifting the weight again to the left foot, push it into the ground, and then just before they hit the ball, they then turn and jump. And very important is when they do the shift, you do that with a closed hip, because if you open up your hip too early, you are gonna touch, you're gonna make a slice, or you're gonna have an open club face at impact. So what you do is you kind of shift. The first shift gets a little arms down, and then you kind of turn and jump, and that way you get the power layer. So, but he's not so aggressive like upper core player. And then we have the low core players. They're like rear post players. That means they are sliding a little bit. They're pushing away from the target down to over to the right leg for a right hand golfer, and then the turn, then the shift to the left side. Again, also put the weight on the foot, and then they also jump, but they're not jumping so aggressive like upper core player, just a little bit upwards to use the ground reaction force, because that's actually where we're getting the power. And I think that's the biggest difference today as 40 years ago. We thought we were getting power by moving from right to left, and actually by using pressure plates, we now know you have to. What happened is you push weight into the ground, like say 1 kilo into the ground, you get 2 kilo back. So that's where we're getting the enormous power, and that's why the guys start to hit it that far.
So a guy like Jimmy Ballard, are they proving what he was teaching wrong?
Yeah, Jimmy Ballard was quite on the right way. You know what I mean? He was at that time quite clever, but that's again this thing. Like Jimmy Ballard, he was also baseball. Mike Adams was baseball. And you never see a baseball player hitting the ball by just shifting from right to left. He loads on the left wing, and then he jumps up, and that's why he gets the power. And I guess all those guys thought before we got pressure plate, a lot of guys start to see, oh, where are they getting the power from? And then they start to say that. But the big majority of golf professors at that time, they didn't believe in that, huh? Because they didn't have any numbers.
Right. Uh, so tell me about how you use artificial intelligence.
The I've been using AI for 4 or 5 years, and I kind of use it every day. And it's quite interesting to see in America, there's only 61% in America knows about ChatGPT as example. There's only 32% of people in America that use it, and they only use it about 7% per day. So it's quite amazing. Even with the professionals, they are more educated. So a lot of them, 80% knows about it, 50% are using it, but they're only using about 15% a day. And I'm using like all day. It saves me so much time. It saved me so much time. I build a lot of GPTs. So when I want to make some tools for my students, I just have to ask, can you please make this for me? And they just blow out in 1 minute. I have the whole story about grip or stand and all this, and I can hand it over to them. It takes no time. It takes time to build the GPTs, but afterwards, oh, it's easy.
Now, how do you build it? What's that? What's involved in building a GPT?
A GPT is you sit down and you just start to write all your ideas. You start to Today we have a lot of different systems where we can measure the people and we can get numbers and all this and all that stuff. You just put it into the GPT and fill it up. I have one. one GPT. It's called eCodes 360-degree powered by AI golf chat. And in this one, there's about 2,000 hours of content. So it's like one of the best golf pros in the world. So I just asked to ask this assistant pro, say, what do you think? What we should do? Can we make this? And they make it for me. I built another GPT a few days ago about mental training. So we filled it up again with a lot of content about mental training. And then you can just ask what's your problem. My problem is I'm getting nervous on the first tee, and the GPT will then tell you, okay, you should stand behind the ball, inhale to the nose and doubled out of your mouth. Then don't think about heading into the water. Concentrate of the target where you want to hit it, and then go then start to do the pre-shot routine and all this. And then I asked the system, can you give me a 14 days practice plan? And you get a 14 days practice plan. The reason I built the mental GPT is a lot of people say mental training is very, very important in golf. And then there's a guy that makes a clinic for one day, like saying next Sunday. And everybody enter and they go there on Thursday, on Sunday, and they listen to this guy and they're saying, oh, that's great. And then they don't do anything anymore. It's the same like I'm a little bit I have too much weight and all this. And my wife always tells me you have to lose weight. And I tell her, yeah, I'm gonna go to the fitness studio next on Thursday next week. It's not working. You want to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, but not just Thursday next week. And that's the way that people doing in mental training, like amateurs, the pros, they really work at it, but they're doing like one a year, doing one clinic, and afterward they do nothing. And that's why we built the mental training GPT, so the people can get a practice plan for 7 days or 14 days, what they have to do every day. And then they can come up with a new idea and we give them another practice plan.
So you put all this information into the GPT,
Yeah.
and then you give a lesson and you ask the GPT a question and it spits out the answer.
Yeah. That's why we're building this eCodes 360-degree. We have a website called eCode 360, eCodes 360. The website is online, but there's only text and all this. You can click the button, not lots gonna happen. If you want to know more about it, just send me an email and I'm gonna tell you. It takes maybe about 2 or 3 weeks. Then the 1.5 is going to go online, and in that system you will stand in front of your mobile phone and take some pictures about how long are your arms short and all this, how much you jump, how much you turn, so the GPT knows about uh, what is your body size, what can you do. Then afterwards you hit 5 shots or 10 shots, and then we know how much you turn the hip, how much the shoulder turns, uh, all the numbers about your golf swing. And you can then ask the GPT and ask the AI chatbot. You can then ask the chatbot, what do you think? What is the most important thing I should work at? And the system will then tell you, okay, maybe your hip rotation isn't that good and all this. And you can then ask, can you give me a practice plan? And he sets up a practice plan for you. You can say, can you give me some videos so I can know how to do it? It looks for videos, it gives you videos you can practice. So it's going to be the first AI-driven golf app or golf interactive golf coach.
So it'll be able to look at a swing and make an analysis, make a solution, and give
Yeah,
you a practice plan. Wow.
yeah. It's going to be two systems. It's going to be one system for amateurs, and then it's going to be one system for professional. And the biggest difference is if the pro is using it, the AI coach will act as assistant pro. So like doctors, doctors, that's the point is with golf professionals, it's sometimes very difficult because a lot of them think they know much better. But we must say, sorry, AI is just so much more intelligent as us. So why not listen to them and why not learn from them? A doctor that do a scan in a hospital will never stand there and says, I'm not asking AI anything. I can see it myself. He cannot. I mean, I think the numbers on there's a test in America where they test all the doctors with a lot of questions. And I think the best doctor was about 75% right. And the AI was up in the end of the 90s, like I think 96, 97% of asking all the questions the right way. So the AI is just so much more intelligent than we are. So we should use it.
So, so doctors have AI for their specific specialty,
Yes.
and you have AI for your specific specialty.
Yes.
You're the person inputting the information.
You put the informations in, you look for informations, and what's going to happen in the future is the AI is going to self diagnostic and self. It's going to start to learn about it. It's
It's
going
going
to
to
start
improve
to ask
itself.
questions. So
It's
so
going
that's
to
gonna it's gonna be so much better in I think maybe 1 year, maybe 1.5 year. It's start to learn from what it teach. You know what I mean? Like a normal
yeah.
teacher.
I talked to an executive coach, and he's given AI all of his information, and now AI is smarter than him
Yeah,
because when AI doesn't know something, it researches the answer, and that answer gets added into the database. So, and
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Like you can go into ChatGPT as fun and just ask, what is the hip rotation from a PGA and an LPGA tour player at impact? And the ChatGPT will tell you it's probably the hip rotation for PGA Pro is about 32 degrees, and for LPGA Tour players about 35 degrees, and the standard deviation is between for PGA Tours between 29 and 43, and from LPGA Tour is probably about 32 to 46, and it tells you
So,
that.
so let's say you know more about you have more information on the golf swing than I do, and you create your Chat GPT, and I could
Yeah.
create mine. Yours is going to be better than mine, no?
Actually, not because I'm relying on the same, I mean, the same numbers as you are. It's just the way you now teach it, and tell them how, what did they have. And now we have to teach that to say, where is the most important thing to look at first? Just like example, we say the most important thing is to not have so much sway. So he looks in and says, I saw the guy has a lot of sway. So okay, I'm gonna tell him about get his sway less. So start to turn more. Don't sway so much. That will help him get more impact. You know what I mean? Then
So,
maybe the next point is uh, the guy have too much hip rotation. So the system will maybe tell him because he knows how wide the stand are. He may tell the guy, listen, try to widen your stand a little more because if you widen your stand, you're not going to have so much hip rotation. So you need to teach it how to address every single position, what's the most important. You know what I mean? It's there's maybe things in golf swing that's not that so important, but that's a lot of time what amateurs they see something, and if they can see it, they think it's important. But we know that is not important. And what you see, it's almost too late because what we see in the golf swing happened already before.
so if I'm an amateur, even myself, and I want to use your Chat GPT to teach me,
Yeah.
I can set it up behind me, set it up to the side, take photographs, and it'll
No,
spit
you set
out.
up the yeah. What you do is you set up the phone in front of you. You can also set up two cameras, like two phones, one in front and one down the line. But you can start. You can do with one only. And we're not gonna have that in the 1.5. But later, the phone's gonna stay there and record swings all day when you're practicing. So we get all your swings. It's like if the coach is there looking at you. And end of the lessons, you then say, "Oh, thank you for the lessons," and then the system boom says, okay, I'm off. And then he sends you an email and tells you how your practice plan was and how you worked and what you work at.
And that's all artificial intelligence.
All artificial intelligence.
Now, how does the Golf Pro, the live Golf Pro, fit into this, or is he completely eliminated?
No, this is what a lot of people says, but the point is what I'm saying is if you as a professional not start to use artificial intelligence in your job, you're not going to have any job anymore. But if you start to use it, you know how to use it, and the people know how to use it is always going to have job. Because in our system, it's also going to be an online golf platform at the same time. So if you are professional and you are using the AI golf chat, then you suddenly have the whole world to teach because they can use the system, and when they practice alone, they're getting good informations. Then when you record swing and you're my students, I get all the information about you, so I see it, and then maybe you don't want lessons from me, but I see it and I go in and says, listen, think about this and this and this. You get an email from me, and if you want to know more, just give me a call and we set up a Zoom. So now suddenly you have the whole world as students, and not only about 100 kilometers away where you live.
Right. So I'm thinking if I'm having my heart, if I'm getting heart surgery
Yeah.
and the doctor's using artificial intelligence, I want the doctor to take a look at the artificial intelligence before they perform the surgery. I don't want to just completely go with the robot or the artificial intelligence. Would it be that same way with a golf lesson?
Yeah, I mean, if we go to about if you're sick, the first thing, if I had something, the first thing I would go in and ask ChatGPT and tell me in my language, in my level of understanding. If I says I'm this level in intelligence, can you tell me about this? And he explains everything, and then I have information. Then I go to the doctor and I talk with him, and he says then what he thinks, and then I can say, but I heard that and that. What do you think? That's the first thing I will do, and that's a kind of the way I would do it in a golf swing. Also, is if I have some problem in my swing, I would ask the ChatGPT first or the AI golf chat, and that will give me some ideas. And then I will contact the pro and says, "What do you think? Let's talk about it." And then the pro can help you in the way of setting up the practice plan the best, look at the numbers, help you with the numbers, because that's the biggest problem now is you're going to have so many numbers and you don't know about them. And that's why you need the coach to help you to see what numbers are important, what number is not so important, and how do we use the numbers to get better.
So I'm just thinking now, and because I agree with you, uh, and you have to if you can measure movement with numbers, you can measure. Okay, you
Yeah.
did a little bit better today based on the numbers. But there are some old school people, well, it's an art, it's a creative act, but it's still when it comes down to it, it's numbers, and you got to get your numbers right.
Yeah, and also a lot of people talk about the numbers. Says, yeah, all numbers. I'm saying, yeah, that's numbers, but those numbers are only there for me to know where to look. I'm not gonna throw numbers at my student if they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to know about it. You know what I mean? I'm just going to use, so a lot of time when I record and with my systems, they kind of say, I don't want to know. I said, yeah, you don't need to. Those information is for me. So I'm able to teach you better because I know where you are. I know where you were last week. Because that's also what's going to happen is now you can start to ask, did Peter, did he got better? How was his hip rotation 6 months ago?
Right,
Because you don't have that if you old school teacher.
right, right, right,
You say,
right,
oh, it looks better.
right.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
I took a
knows?
lesson 2 years ago in America at Golf Tech,
Yeah,
and they measured me, all the stuff they did, and they gave me a printout, and they gave me three things to work on,
yeah,
and it was good. But I never went back. I'm in the Philippines right now, but
yeah.
I would like to see if I made any improvement or if I went backwards or not. It'd be nice to know.
And that's where the AI golf chat, it's going to help you enormous because it records all their numbers. That means you can just make a swing with your iPhone now and ask it.
Right, and send it over the internet
You don't have to
to the.
send anywhere. It makes a loan.
Okay, okay,
But every single person that download the app, even amateurs, have to go in and choose a pro. So if you buy the app, and you want to use it as an amateur, it's not going to work before you choose a pro.
So the PGA of America, they bought or they've aligned themselves with the company. You know the name of the company?
Yeah, Sportsbox.
That's the one you use, right?
I'm using Sportsbox also,
Is that the
but
best one?
Sportsbox don't have a chatbot. That's why I built my own chatbot
Okay.
because I want informations. And like I says before all this started, I had to write down everything. So it took me about 15 to 20 minutes after every lessons and send the people email what I looked at in the golf swing. And now I just go boom, boom, boom. I talk to the AI, it gives me the whole text, and I send it to the people.
So let's say David Ledbetter, he wrote a book years ago called Faults and Fixes.
Yeah.
Would that be like downloaded into artificial intelligence and
You if you make a GPT and you have it as a PDF, you can put it into your GPT.
right, right.
I don't know if Ledbetter likes if people are doing that, but I don't know what if they can do something about it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
It's
basically what you're doing, though, right? You're giving a lesson and you're writing all your notes about the lesson in there.
yes, yes. So I have so many notes now. You know what I mean? So a lot of my official intelligence comes from myself because I have so many lessons, and every lessons I make, I talk about, I look about, I upload some pictures and all this, and my AI is learning every day.
So the other thing is, so like let's say Jimmy Ballard, let's say he creates a GPT.
Yeah,
He's all supposedly an all body guy, and then you get a
yeah,
guy like who's an all hands and arms guy. Their AI is going to be different.
yes.
Okay,
The point is what we have to move away from is it's one swing fits all.
right,
It's not possible. And that's what a lot of people have to start think about. But the problem about teaching the perfect swing for each person is it's a lot of work. You have to have a lot of knowledge.
right.
If you just teach one swing fits all, most of the time you're just teaching your own swing to everybody.
So that's why you're doing this three trunks swing.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay,
Because the people are different, and I'm measuring every person that comes to me. We are measuring arm lengths, lower arm, upper arm. How much can you turn the shoulders? How much can you turn the hips at impact? How high can you jump and all that? So we're measuring every person's. We have like 10 different things we measured them. So we kind of know how flexible they are and we kind of know where they fall into. So we have a starting point. But also with the when you teach different swing, every position you have to move it a little bit. It's not just this is the way it is. Just an example, an upper court player, the ball is laying way up in front of your stand or back towards the middle. And a middle course player, the ball is in the middle or up in your stand. So now we have an upper court player and a middle court player, and actually both of them have the ball in the same position. But you kind of start in the front as upper core and move the ball further back till you find the position where you hit the ball nice. Same with the middle court player. You start in the middle and then you move the ball forwards till you find exactly the point where you'll be able to hit it the best with your hip rotation and your transition.
so I'm just thinking now. I coach a few people, not in the golf area, but in other areas,
Yeah.
and I have to be able to read them. Uh, some of them I only give them a little eyedropper bit of information. Some of them I give them the turn on the hose full blast information, depending on how I read their personality.
Yeah. It's a, it's you need to know, and that's the next point. That's where the psychological part comes in. You need to know what is the person able to use. It's like if you want to learn him to cook. I mean, you're not going to give him if you have no idea about cooking. You're not going to give him meat and potatoes and a lot of spicy things and all this. He don't know what to do with it. So you kind of concentrate about making a nice consistent meal first. And when you then get better, you can give him more resumes. You know what I mean?
And I have some people that I can be tough with. Look, you got to do this. And some people, I can't. You know, if I'm tough with them, if I'm tough with them, they'll leave. So you know, so I think you're still going to need a coach, a
You
live
always
coach.
need a coach, but you as a coach, the way I see it at least is you need to tell them, listen, this and this, we need to change that. And I'll tell you exactly why. And when you have numbers, you can tell them that. And
Right,
if you
right, right,
still
right,
don't
right.
want that, then just say, okay, go to somebody else because I can't help you. Because we're not, as a coaches, a lot of time people says, but I lost that student. I says, yes, but you're not going to make any money anyway of him because one person is not going to make, it's going to give you the dinner for today and tomorrow. But if you tell them this is what you need to change and this is what we need to work at, they're gonna tell 10 other friends how good you are. And now you have enough money to get something to eat for 1 month. But with one person, 1 or 2 days and the money is gone, huh?
So eventually, I'm thinking I'm going to buy a product. I'll be able to set the camera on the range. I'll make 10 swings. It'll analyze my swing. It'll give me a fix to work on,
Yeah.
and I can work on it all at once or just a little bit at a time. You know, and
Yeah.
I can
The
be
the
my own
AI
coach.
coach, the AI coach is not gonna say it's not gonna give you more than 3 things to work at.
Right. And even
That's a
then, I can
John
say I'm
Jacobs.
just going to do one.
Yeah, John Jacobs, the old pro that for 50 years ago. He says you can only have 3 things you can work at.
I
Three
agree.
thoughts, not more.
Uh, hmm. I'm running out of questions here.
Actually, there should be enough questions in what we are talking about. We would be able to talk all day.
So I'm 68 years old.
Yeah,
I used to be a +2 handicap.
yeah.
Now I don't play anymore. I'm guessing I'm about a 10. If I wanted to get back into the game, what would you recommend based on all this technology out there now?
For if you was a +2 handicap and you're not that now, you don't need the technology. What you need is you need to do stretching every day. You need to go to the fitness studio and get your body in shape. You need to get core power and leg power, and then you will start to hit the ball 30 meter longer. And now suddenly you're able to play the same score again.
That's not the answer I wanted to hear, Henrik.
I know, but that is the answer. You know what I mean? That is the point. You know what I mean?
I wanted to hear the AI magic wand say, "Do this and I'm cured."
Listen, we don't have
I,
any
I I
Viagra for
agree with
golf.
you.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. You're right.
Yeah, that's the point. You know what I
Uh,
mean? And then when you then have the core strains, the leg strains, and all that, and you're getting the ball longer, now we can start to look at your mechanics. You know what I mean? But
right.
if the car don't have a large and fast engine, I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win any IndyCar races.
So a person like me, I really don't care how you come up with the information. I just want to hear what AI is going to tell me, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to know all the nuts and bolts behind it. And most people don't. You know, some are going to ask, but most people don't.
Yeah, you can set it up so it answers the way you want it to answer. You know, like says this is what you need to work at, and then it says shows you some videos, and this is a practice drill you do, and you can do those drills.
You know, it was interesting. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had the same coach, the same trainer,
Yeah,
and the guy said Michael Jordan didn't ask any questions. He just wanted to know what to do, and he did it.
yeah,
And Kobe Bryant asked a zillion questions. If he asked him to do
yes,
something, how come you want me to do that? What's you know?
yeah.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different, but the point
Uh,
is maybe Michael Jordan was so good, Kobe Bryant was great too. But maybe if Kobe was not asking all the questions, he would not be what he was. But
that's his
Michael
yeah,
can
that's his
just do it. You know what
style.
I mean?
Exactly, the style.
Yeah,
Uh, so I'm just thinking this AI is going to like I use it every single day.
yeah.
You know, I look at it as I have a best friend that's a genius, basically.
You have the most intelligent person in the world.
Yep, yep. Uh, Interesting.
And that's why I want to get that to the people, to the pros. Start to use AI. Take 1 hour every day. Ask questions. Tell the AI to make your practice plans. Tell your AI to do things what you want to use tomorrow with your students, like writing down different things and all that. You know what I mean? And then start to use it, because if you're not gonna use it, you're gonna you're not gonna you're not gonna have a job in
Yeah, you're
three or
going to get
four
left
years.
behind. You're going to get
Yeah,
left behind.
yeah,
Yeah, if you don't use
and
it, you're
yeah,
you're nuts.
yeah. You have to. I mean, it's just and a lot and like I said before, there's in whole America, there's 34% Americans are using ChatGPT. There are only 61% that know about it,
Right.
and there's only 7% using it every day.
Even my friends that I hang out with every day, if I bring up Chat GPT, they think it's like the plague. They don't want to know anything about it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, put up there. I don't know how old those people are, but they're probably not. They're probably about your age. So that means they will see it in 3 to 4 years. They will get surprised and they will go, "Oh my God, I need to do it," and then it's too late. It's the same
Right.
as a universal income. Every government have to start to make a universal income for you people and start to make the system. So when the chat GPT get that far, so it start to take over jobs and people have no jobs anymore, you need to give the people money, because if you don't give them money, they're going to fight.
Right.
And the AI is so fast. So if you say, oh, we're going to do that in 3 or 4 years, no, you're behind. You need to
Right.
start to do it now. At least set the nuts and bolts and screws, so you know when we get in, I can just push a button and it starts.
You know, I had a friend that he didn't believe in it at all. Like he'd get mad at me when I brought up artificial intelligence,
My
and
wife too.
then he got sick, and he started using artificial intelligence to help him figure out what was wrong with him and his recovery process. And now he swears by artificial intelligence.
I mean, it's the most intelligent system or brain in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no doctor even close to what ChatGPT can tell you.
So what's the one that you use on an everyday basis?
I use Manus for robots. I use ChatGPT. Uh, I use Grok a little bit. So I'm kind of using for different things. I'm using different things.
Right, right.
Manus is great as agents. When I'm building a new putting concept where you make some tests and you get statistics and all this with break putts and all that. So you can actually go through the system, and then you can do it again next week, and you can see how you improve.
So what about with beginners? How do you help beginners with Chat GPT or with
The best
artificial
thing is
intelligence?
the best thing is with beginners, because they don't know. So when you start to teach them with artificial intelligence, they think this is normal,
Right,
because they don't know any better. So they think, oh, every person. So I tell them, listen, the way I teach you just now, this is the way you're going to get teach normally in 5 or 6 years.
right.
But they
So
think it's normal.
you've used it with beginners?
Always, I need numbers, eh? And the
Oh,
only
wow.
way to show them numbers is I let them, like, I let them hit one swing, and I record the swing when they don't know nothing. And then we start to look at it, what they're doing and all this. And then we make another swing, and now we can see the difference in the numbers, and they start to understand, aha, I need to shift more here, I need to jump more. Ah, okay, good. But if I didn't have any numbers, they would go, why is that right?
So
And
what's the three most important numbers to look at?
I would say the most important numbers is sway, pelvic sway, and chest sway. Because if you get the sway correct, you're gonna hit the ball solid most of the time. Then how you load. So like when you go back, you sit and you push and you jump, because that's where you get power. And then we need to look about how your hips turning and how the head is not moving forwards. It's the head movement in a golf swing is you're moving towards the target, then you get the club on the ball, then the head is actually moving away from the target, and then it will back to the target. This is one of the 100% trackers. Every person that hits a good golf swings is shifting, turning, and the head goes towards the target. And when he hits the ball, the head goes away, and then he goes to the target again, the head. So those are kind of the things because that kind of so the body kind of stay in the middle to get good impact.
So I have a very good friend. I'm just thinking now. I have a very good friend. He loves golf.
Yeah.
He loves it more than anybody I know, and he can't improve. And I feel bad for the guy. He takes lesson after lesson, pro after pro, and he can't improve. So if he videotapes his swing and sends it to you can give him some stuff to work on.
No, that's even easier. The guy sends me an email with his name, or everybody that hears this podcast sends an email with the name, with the email address, phone numbers, name, and I would put them into the Sportsbox system, and then you'll be able to record swings with the Sportsbox system. So that means they are right into my system at the same time.
Right.
And
Okay.
then I can start to do a short analyze at the beginning and tell them how is the system working, what are we going to work at, and then I will tell them what it costs to be able to keep on working, and then they will get their own AI where all those swings are in, all these videos are in, and then when we are finished with the chatbot, then I will tell them how to use the chatbot, and then it's going to get much easier. Just now we need the chatbot, and it's going to be there in 2 or 3 weeks.
So have you had some cases where they came to you, look, I've tried everything. I can't get any better. And you've been able to turn them around with artificial intelligence?
Mm, I rather tell the story about this. There was one guy with a handicap three. He came to me for golf lessons, and we worked a half an hour. And I said to him, "Listen, the grip you have just now is not going to work. We need to look at your grip first because I believe grip first, and then stand, and then we can talk about the swing." And the guy says, "I don't want to change my grip." Then I says, "Okay, here, you don't need to pay me. It was great to meeting you. I like you as a person, but I can't work with you." And I send him
Right.
home
Right.
because
Very
I
good.
don't want to cheat. Like my philosophy is, I don't want to cheat anybody that don't want to get better. And the only
Right.
way they can get better is if they listen to what I say. They have to believe I can make them better. If they don't believe I can make them better, I don't need to work with them because it's going to help nobody. Because I don't want this only guy. Like I says, I want all his friends because he got better.
So with that guy who you sent away, would it be possible to show him information and just say, hey, look, I know you don't want to change your grip, but here's all the information. You have to change your grip based on what this information I have at my disposal here.
Yeah, I mean, what you have to then say to him, okay, give it a chance for 3 weeks. Change your grip. We look at the number, we see what we get out of it. And then he will see, yes, I saw, oh, okay, I understand. Because we as golf professionals, we know if the guy have the wrong grip to the way he want to swing, he needs to make compensations in something. And that's why he's not getting better.
There's no way for artificial intelligence to analyze a grip and give him a solution to his poor grip.
Yeah, I mean, if you say you are a local player where you have to have a under grip and you now had a on top grip, you're gonna come from outside on the ball. So for sure, the system will say, listen, you are coming too far outside because you're on top, and you're actually very flexible in your lower body, and you can really turn your lower body. So you need to have a more under grip so you can come more from inside to the ball. You know what I mean? So for sure you can show him that way. This is a way to get the club on the right path. You know what I mean?
Right. Because, nobody likes to be told what to do. So if you can show him with information, he almost has to, he's becomes his own teacher.
But did you listen to what you just say? Nobody wants to be told what they have to do. So why are they coming for golf lessons?
Well, I would say that's kind of the art of teaching, though, is to make it feel like it's their idea, because they'll learn it better if they think it's their idea.
No, but I'm not teaching that way. I
Okay,
tell them
okay,
why and how, and if they want to get better, then listen, and I will tell you.
okay,
Because
okay.
because like I've said before, I don't want to teach anybody that want to get better.
Right,
And a lot of people
right.
says, yeah, I want to get better. And then after the lessons, they come 3 weeks later, and I says, did you practice this and this? I said, oh, I didn't have time. So much work in the office. My wife had birthday, my grandma had birthday, so I didn't have a time to. So I says, why are you coming for a lesson today if you didn't practice what we talked about 3 weeks ago?
Right, right.
So I don't. So I send him home because
Uh,
if he's not working at what you want to work at, then I don't need to teach him because I want him to get better. And in the back of my head, I want him to get better because he's going to show all his friends how good he got. So I can get all his friends to
exactly,
come for lessons.
exactly. I think that's all I got, Henrik.
No, it was great.
Yeah, this
We
was
can do
good.
another.
I'm definitely going to send this video to my friend. That's for sure.
Yeah, send him. Tell him to send me an email, and I will send him all the information. I will set him up, and he can start to work with the system. That's an advantage also about the technology today. We are able to teach people around the world. We don't need to teach the people just next door. I can teach people in Australia, in California, on Hawaii, in New Zealand.
I'm just thinking I have another buddy. This guy plays all the time, and he's got a terribly weak grip, left hand and right hand. Terrible. And he hits a little pop up fade. And no matter how hard I try to get him into a stronger position, he fights it. But if I had the numbers to convince him, look at what this weak grip is causing in your swing and your movements. Your numbers are terrible, and they're terrible because of your lousy grip. Would
Yeah.
that be the process?
The process is actually just to tell him, listen, there's two things in golf you have to work at, and you have to work at that every day. That's your grip and your stand. Look about Scotty Scheffler. What is he working on the range every day? His grip. He's so precise the way he puts the hands onto the club. So have a look when
Right.
you look at like tonight. You will see when he stands there, he's putting the hand precise. And when he make a bad shot, look, he's looking at his hand because he knows about 95% of the reason when he makes a bad shot was because the grip, there was something wrong with the grip. And
So
when this is, yeah,
with my friend with the weak grip, I mean it's really weak. It's going to put him into some terrible positions. So if I can show him the terrible positions and the terrible numbers, look, if you want to improve these positions and numbers, change your grip. Those positions and numbers will change.
yeah, and but a weak grip can maybe be good. Maybe he's a front post with a as an upper player. Those
All right, I'm
guys
going to
have
send him.
weak
I'm going to
grips, you
send him
know.
to you too.
Like
I'm going to
says,
send him to you.
it's difficult to say yes, this is the problem, you know, because we need to see the swing. I have many times people phone me or send me emails and ask me questions. I says I can only guess, but if I have the numbers, then I know.
This guy's physically fit, so his grip is not good. But I'd rather
So,
you analyze it and tell him than me.
yeah, send me an email and we can set something up and we can set up a teaching account so they can start to work at the game and they're gonna have their own GPT with their own informations.
So what is your what?
If they send me ball flight datas, I can put them into the GPT so they can then ask in 5 weeks, did I improve the distance on my driver?
What's your email address?
It's my first name is Henrek and then JENTSCH and then at t-online.de for Germany. Or you can also go on I have two websites. One is ecoach360.de or .com or golf247.eu for Europe.
So what's the eCoach 360? What is it?
The eCoach 360, it's actually going to be the chatbot website.
So eCoach360 at what?
No, just eCoach360.com or .de.
No,
The website is up running, but all the buttons, how to get informations, all this, you can click, but nothing's going to happen. It's but the site is there. You can have a look at it. It's not finished yet. It's going to be finished in about a few weeks when we get the chatbot finished.
If they go to ecoach360.com, they'll be able to find you.
They'll be able to read it. They'll be able to find me in the bottom, click on an email there, or they can go on, like I said before, golf247.eu for Europe.
I think this eCoach360 is the easiest way, so that's what I'm going to tell them.
But the next is golf247 is quite easy too.
Golf 247,
24/7, like golf 24 hours, 7 days a week.
So golf 247, and what's the end of that?
At EU for Europe. Like EU. Eric and you.
Okay.
You can have a look at the websites. I send you the links anyway to the website. I send you the link right away here.
All right, Henrik. What time is it there where you are?
Now it's 3 o'clock.
3 in the afternoon. Yeah, it's like 9 o'clock at night here. All right. This was great. I'm going to send a couple of my friends your way, and maybe I'll even take a lesson from you. But I got to start playing first before I take a lesson.
Yeah, and also I'm quite good on putting too. I worked a lot. You know Jeff Mangum?
Yes.
I worked a lot with Jeff before.
Yeah, it's definitely you're in the right. You're going in the right direction. You're the future of golf. That's for sure.
Definitely. I mean, the knowledge what Jeff have is unbelievable, and I learned so much from him. And sure, I also make my own ideas, but you need to learn from the best before you can make your own ideas.
Right.
And the last note I want to give professionals is what I got that from Dr. Ralph Mann. Dr. Ralph Mann, he was a coach of Norrell, the guy that won the gold medal in 100 meter at the Olympic in Paris, and he was a silver medal in Munich at the Olympic 72. And he made a system many years ago, was called model golf. So he recorded a lot of people, and he made a model we could put on top of you to see where you are against the best players in the world. And he told me a good thing, and that's what I want to. That's why I give a lot of when I have young teachers. I tell them like that: if you get an idea, you test it with your students. Don't tell them about it. Test it. 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Write down notes, and after 3, 4 weeks, you then take all your notes. You look at them. And if it makes sense, if you say that's great, then tell people about it. If you find out after 3 weeks it's actually not working, then take all the papers, put it in a bin, and come up with a new idea. Don't come up with a idea today and tell everybody tomorrow. But that's what golf teach a lot of times. They get a good idea today and they tell everybody about it tomorrow. So
okay, Henrik, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be sending some people your way, and thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yes, and like I said, if you want to do another one in a few months on putting, we can do putting then.
Sounds good. We will.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.